right, here we go. All right, well, welcome to the Save America podcast. This is going to be a pretty interesting episode today. A very controversial topic for some people, and some people are going to agree, and some people are going to disagree. We're going to do this nice and civilly, hopefully. And the whole point of this is to basically give you guys a little bit of an education, maybe stimulate some debate. And the bottom line today is we are going to learn that Trump needs to be impeached, convicted, and removed from office. So I am live today and I am here to go ahead and debate people that are interested in talking with me about it. But also, we are going to actually go over the different crimes that he's done and the reasons that he should be impeached, convicted, and removed. So, with that being said, first off, I'm going to get something to drink, and then we're going to go ahead and get into the actual crimes. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying this episode so far. All right. First off, prior to his presidency, we need to start there. I think that's extremely important because we need to make sure that whatever we're talking about here, we need to kind of get the full picture. Now, mind you, some of the crimes that I'm going to be talking about aren't necessarily in total. I think to me, it's the most egregious or the ones that are definitely crimes. But let's talk a little bit about what it was like prior to his presidency. First off, Donald Trump was indicted 4 times, both at the state and federal level. He was indicted for the January 6th insurrection alone, with 4 felonies: conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to disrupt an official proceeding, conspiracy against rights, obstruction and attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. Welcome on board. Make sure you give that video a like. Let's get out there. Let's go ahead and get some people on here. In New York, he was given a verdict of 34 felony counts of falsified business records. In Georgia, he violated the Racketeering, Influenced, and Corrupt Organization Act. That was prior to his presidency. Now, we're going to get into the crimes of 2025, his first year in office back in his second term. Mind you, the president can accept his $400,000 paycheck that he gets from the United States on a yearly basis. Trump has supposedly turned that down and accepted it for a specific reason. The reason is that he is enriching himself. And he is enriching himself utilizing a thing called World Liberty Financial, in which he accepts crypto money or crypto assets. And he has enriched himself to the tune of roughly $5 billion alone. Now, I'm not a real mathematician on that, but $400,000 compared to $5 billion in a year or less than, yeah, that's kind of suspicious, and we need to take note. That is illegal. The president should not be allowed to accept any money, his family or otherwise, outside of his usual salary. On top of that, you have to also understand that with his $400,000 salary, he is also getting all the perks and benefits that come with that. So, healthcare, the ability to travel, the ability to be in very expensive pieces of traveling equipment, such as armored cars, as well as high-tech airplanes and all that stuff. And he also gets the privilege of being the commander-in-chief of the United States military. With that being said, he also eliminated birthright citizenship via executive order, which, for those of you who don't know, that is the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, in which it states that all persons born in the United States are considered citizens. He pardoned 1,500 insurrectionists of January 6, 2021 insurrection. Although that might not necessarily have been illegal, it didn't necessarily give him a really good look. Because basically, he pardoned a bunch of criminals that did a lot of crime in his name. He shut down asylum requests for the border of the United States for people who are seeking asylum. He terminated telework agreements contrary to work union agreements. He unilaterally withdrew from the World Health Organization. He sent in the military to seal the borders despite congressional approval. For those of you who don't know, that means that he sent troops into the United States, the continental United States, without congressional approval in violation of the Posse Comitatus Act. He reinstated Schedule F and fired federal employees without proper approval from said agencies. He pulled security clearances from all perceived political enemies. He froze hiring in government without congressional authorization. He appointed an interim U.S. attorney for D.C. as a conflict of interest, who fired many employees who worked on the January 6th case. He unilaterally paused the congressional law banning TikTok. He rolled back multiple energy regulations without congressional approval. He violated the impoundment clause of Congress with approved funds that have already been sent out to agencies. He suspended entrance of refugees into the United States without congressional approval. He approved construction of the border wall without congressional approval. He reestablished the federal death penalty without congressional approval. He shut down wind energy projects without congressional approval. He froze hundreds of billions of dollars of humanitarian aid that was congressionally approved. He constructed immigration detention centers without congressional approval. He unilaterally paused immigration funding. He appointed Elon Musk to run Doge without congressional oversight. He implemented travel bans without specification. He issued executive orders to define sex and gender in violation of the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. He ended vaguely defined DEI programs and contracts without congressional approval. He is mentioned in the Epstein files over 5,000 times. He attempted to block the Epstein file release on multiple occasions. He ordered Venezuelan ships be seized and destroyed without congressional approval. He ordered the U.S. military to deploy to Los Angeles in violation of the Posse Comitatus Act. He accepted a $400 million Qatari jet expected to have roughly $1 billion of upgrades in violation of the Constitutional Emoluments Clause. And he also implemented tariffs without congressional approval, which was a recent decision. Now, we have impeached presidents for far less. We've impeached presidents for violating a Tenure of Office Act with Andrew Johnson back in the 1860s. We impeached Clinton for his affair that he had with Monica Lewinsky. But we didn't convict either president. We also attempted to impeach Nixon, but he resigned before he could be impeached and convicted. And that was for the Watergate scandal. With that being said, if you look at the Watergate scandal and all the stuff that has occurred before this, and then you take into account all the crimes that this man has committed, we need to get this man out of office, and we need to get him out quick. He's a danger to all of us. We need to sign petitions, and for those of you who don't know, I do have a petition available. Go ahead and go down in the description section, take a look at my petition, and go ahead and sign and spread that petition to as many people as possible. The midterms are coming up in November, and we need to make sure that we are on our toes and that we are going to go out there and vote against all this tyranny and that we are going to go ahead and take the fight to Trump. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and for those of you who just got on here and or want to find out, this man has committed multiple crimes prior to his presidency, to include ones in his first term that he was not held accountable for. Prior to his presidency, he was indicted 4 times, both at the state and federal level. For the January 6th insurrection, he was going to be charged with conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, conspiracy against rights, obstruction and attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. In New York, he was given 34 felony counts and he was convicted on all counts of falsified business records. In Georgia, he violated the Racketeer Influenced and Corruption Organization Act. That was prior to his presidency, and he was not really held accountable. For those of you who were following along in the New York trial, you'll know that he was given an unconditional discharge, which never in the state's history has anyone who did falsified business documents receive that charge or receive that agreement. And it wasn't a plea bargain either. In 2025 alone, and this is just last year, he created the World Liberty Financial to accept crypto in excess of $5 billion outside of his presidential salary. He eliminated birthright citizenship via executive order. He pardoned 1,500 insurrectionists of the January 6, 2021 insurrection. He shut down asylum requests for those crossing the border. He terminated telework agreements contrary to work union approval. He unilaterally withdrew from the World Health Organization. He sent in the military to seal the borders in violation of Posse Comitatus. He reinstated Schedule F and fired federal employees without proper approval from said agencies. If you have a question, by all means, go ahead and ask it. If you want to go ahead and just talk to me, go ahead and put it down in the comment section. I'm always open to talking about that stuff, whatever you want. He pulled security clearances from perceived political enemies. He froze hiring in government without congressional authorization. He appointed an interim U.S. attorney for D.C. as a conflict of interest, who fired many employees who worked on the January 6 case. He unilaterally paused the congressional law banning TikTok. He rolled back multiple energy regulations without congressional approval. He violated the impoundment clause of Congress with its approved funds. He suspended entrance of refugees into the United States. He approved construction of the border wall without congressional approval. Do you say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays? I've said both, and I've used them interchangeably. So, thank you for the question. Boy, you made me lose my train of thought. He reestablished the federal death penalty without Congress. He shut down wind energy projects without congressional approval. He froze hundreds of billions of humanitarian aid that was congressionally approved. He constructed immigration detention centers without congressional approval. He unilaterally paused immigration funding without congressional approval. He appointed Elon Musk to run Doge without Congress oversight. He implemented travel bans without specification to which countries and what reasons. He issued executive orders to define sex and gender. He ended vaguely defined DEI programs and contracts without Congress. He is mentioned in the Epstein files over 5,000 times. He attempted to block the Epstein file release multiple times. He ordered Venezuelan ships be seized and or destroyed without congressional approval. He ordered the U.S. military to Los Angeles in violation of the Posse Comitatus Act. He accepted a $400 million Qatari jet expected to have roughly $1 billion of upgrades in violation of the Emoluments Clause. He implemented tariffs without congressional approval. With that being said, what do you guys think? Do you think the man should be impeached? Let me know in the comments section. I personally think he needs to be the first president that we have that is impeached, convicted, and removed from office. He's done quite a bit, a lot of criminal acts there. For all those in the comment section, go ahead and disagree with me if you wish. I'm always here to entertain. One person already asked me if I said Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. I say both. What do you say? So, liberal page? So liberal page? What do you define as liberal or conservative, man? To be honest, I have a little bit of both, and I think that's what most Americans have. So I think you could say American. But go ahead, hit me with another one, man. I'm interested. All right. Prior to his presidency, he was indicted 4 times, both at the state and federal level. January 6th insurrection, which I have read Jack Smith's report on here for those of you who were in attendance. He received a charge, or was going to receive the following charges: conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, conspiracy against rights, obstruction and attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. By the way, you can change my mind. I mean, maybe Trump's done some really good stuff. Maybe he's a really good guy. Maybe he's not a pedophile. Maybe he is, a really upstanding citizen. I would love to hear from you. Please let me know. Otherwise, you can agree with me too. It's okay. I'm sure I get plenty of MAGA people on here who want to say how good Trump is and how much TDS I have. Which I love that comment because, to be honest with you, TDS is something that someone who buys a lot of his merch would have because you're obsessed with him and I'm not. But that's okay. That's why we're on here, to have these discussions. I think that'll be fun. Anyway, conspiracy to defraud the U.S., conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, conspiracy against rights, obstruction and attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. I'm just going to go on and on and on. In New York, he was given 34 felony counts and convicted on all counts of falsified business records. So yes, he is a felon, despite what many will think. Okay, we are tainted by a foreign nation with promised land. What foreign nation is that? What foreign nation are you talking about being tainted with? Last I looked, most of us, unless you're a Native American, are from somewhere else. So I guess you could say we are the promised land of multiple people from many different foreign lands, not just a foreign land. Okay. In Georgia, he violated the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization Act. In 2025, and this is during his presidency alone, he created the World Liberty Financial to accept crypto in excess of $5 billion. Now, I don't know about you, but the president is only supposed to receive their salary of $400,000 per year. Otherwise, they violate the Emoluments Clause. Allegedly, right? However, $5 billion is quite a bit. That's a lot. So that's every dollar. That's at least $1 for almost every person on the planet. How's that make you feel? All right. He eliminated birthright citizenship via executive order. He pardoned 1,500 insurrectionists of January 6, 2021. Don't know about you, but that sure made me upset. He shut down asylum requests at the border. I don't like traitors. I don't accept traitors. And they were a bunch of traitors, the president included. If you think otherwise, let me know. Terminated telework agreements contrary to work union approval. Unilaterally withdrew from the World Health Organization. Trump sent the military to seal the borders without congressional approval. He reinstated Schedule F and fired federal employees without proper approval from said agencies. He pulled security clearances from perceived political enemies. I'm sure MAGA never thought he would do that. Maybe they did. Maybe they wanted it. Don't know. Froze hiring in government without congressional authorization. He appointed an interim U.S. attorney for D.C. as a conflict of interest, who fired many employees who worked on the January 6th case. Unilaterally paused the congressional law banning TikTok. For those of you who use TikTok, I'm sure you are really happy with him. Rolled back multiple energy regulations without congressional approval. Violated the impoundment clause of Congress with their approved funds. Suspended entrance of refugees into the United States. Approved construction of border wall without congressional approval. He reestablished the federal death penalty without Congress. He shut down wind energy projects without congressional approval. He froze hundreds of billions of dollars of humanitarian aid that was congressionally approved. He constructed immigration detention centers without congressional approval. Unilaterally paused immigration funding. He appointed Elon Musk to run the Doge program without Congress oversight. He implemented travel bans without specification. He issued executive order to define sex and gender. He ended vaguely defined DEI programs and contracts without congressional approval. He is mentioned in the Epstein files over 5,000 times. The man's a pedophile. Get over it. He attempted to block the Epstein file release multiple times. If that doesn't say I'm guilty, I don't know what does. He ordered Venezuelan ships to be seized and or destroyed without congressional approval. He ordered the U.S. military to Los Angeles in violation of the Posse Comitatus Act. He accepted a $400 million Qatari jet expected to have $1 billion of upgrades in violation of the Emoluments Clause. And he implemented tariffs without congressional approval. I don't know about you, but this man's got to go. I'm sorry. He has a lot of issues that he has brought on us that didn't have to be there. And the biggest one, I think, is the tariffs and the Epstein files. Let me know what you think the biggest problem is. The Epstein files, I hope you guys have kind of taken a look at them. They're quite an issue for him. You know, you're talking a lot of documents to go through, and they ended up redacting some things that they shouldn't have. But luckily, the internet got a hold of it, and you got to see some names get revealed. And I'm not going to say it, but you know who is in there, and you know who did some real bad stuff. So, I'm sorry to say it, MAGA, but you elected a pedophile. I hope you're enjoying that right now. You support a pedophile, you support an insurrectionist, you support a criminal. Come on. Like, we got to get rid of this guy. If you want to, go ahead and sign the petition to further along his impeachment, conviction, and removal from office. I have it down in the description section of this video. Be sure to take a look, spread it around. Love to hear it. Let me know in the comment section if you guys disagree. I am open to interpretation of what these things are. I am open to other opinions. We can discuss it all you want. I have my opinions, you have yours. That's the beauty of what we're doing. So I'm looking forward to any comments that you guys have. Agree, disagree, doesn't matter. It's okay. If you want to attack me personally, roast me, whatever, we got that there. Don't care. I'm going to go ahead and read through this again. Give some people some chances to go ahead and type some stuff in the comment section. Your head looks too tiny compared to your body. So? Okay. Prior to presidency, this was before he was president. He was indicted 4 times, both at the state and federal level. January 6th insurrection. He was given 4 counts of conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, conspiracy against rights, obstruction, and attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. New York, 34 felony counts of falsified business records, in which he was convicted in all of them. Violated the Racketeering, Influencing, and Corruption Organization Act in Georgia. That's the Georgia interference case, for those of you who don't know. He created the World Liberty Financial to accept crypto in excess of $5 billion. I don't know about you, but a president receiving billions of dollars on the back of being the president, him or his family, is just plain wrong. Oh boy, let's see this. January 6th was a manufactured event. How do you figure it was a manufactured event? You could say it was created by Trump. So yeah, it was manufactured by Trump. I mean, he's the one who's, he's the one who just essentially got it. He's the one who sent out the tweet to have everybody come out. He said it's going to be wild, right? So I guess you could say it was manufactured. It was manufactured by Trump. But to be honest with you, if you look at all the footage and you look at the things that went on during that time, to include all the police officers that were hurt and the police officers that died days after, yeah, definitely a manufactured event. Oh, you will get flack. Keep up saving America. Thank you. I expect to get flack. That's okay. I can take it on the chin just as good as anybody. But I can talk to you. No problem. I got plenty of people that are going to disagree. If you want to insult me, go ahead. I really don't care. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I know. You know what you know. So it's not going to hurt me. It's okay if you want to use me as your punching bag. It's all right. All right. Let's see. Where was I? He eliminated birthright citizenship via executive order. He pardoned 1,500 insurrectionists of January 6, 2021. He shut down asylum requests from those coming across the border. He terminated telework agreements contrary to the work union approval. Unilaterally withdrew from the World Health Organization. He sent in the military to seal the borders. He reinstated Schedule F and fired federal employees without congressional approval. He pulled security clearances from perceived political enemies. Let's see, what else do I got? The video of the lady that died was fake. Okay. Please explain which lady you're talking about. Are you talking about a cop? Are you talking about a person that was within the crowd? You're talking about the Ashley Babbitt? Is that what you're talking about? No, dude, you can't recreate that. That is not AI. That was definitely real. I'm sorry. If it wasn't real, why would they make such a big deal about it now? It is still a big deal to this day. People still remember it. Even the administration brings it up. In fact, they reinstated her benefits as a veteran when it was repealed by the Biden administration. So I don't think it was fake. Started in 1947, and months later, Israel was a nation. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about with that one. All right. Yes, Israel's a nation, and it did start in 1947. I don't know what that has to do with what we're talking about. Okay. Because it's the CIA. Who was in charge of the country at that time? Who was in charge of the country during the election proceeding? Trump. So it was Trump's CIA if you want to go blame the CIA. Okay. Oh, Zahn is dreaming. Yeah, I think he is. I kind of have to agree with you on that. I think this guy's dreaming. I think he's just putting a whole bunch of distractions. I don't know if he's trying to get attention. He's got it. What's up, yo? We're talking about you. That's okay. You can spout off all the stuff you want. Are you MAGA? You can go ahead and ask. You can go ahead and say it. It's all right if you're MAGA. I don't care. I think you're kind of wrong. Hence the reason why I'm bringing this up. Zahn may not be real. He may not. He may just be some fake dude on here talking about whatever. If he wants to talk, let him. He's got the right to express his opinion. If he's real or fake, no matter. Let's see, I voted red, but I don't support Trump. Okay. Well, great. Then I think you and I can both agree that we can impeach and convict the guy. So you don't support him. Are you willing to impeach and convict him for the crimes he has committed? That is the bigger question. I don't care if you voted red or blue. Although if you did vote for Trump 3 times, I think you have a bit of a problem. Sorry. Hard to not really realize that guy's a criminal. Don't vote for Trump then. But I learned that this isn't a red versus blue issue. It's God versus evil in this world. Okay? Some people say it's rich versus poor. Some people it's right versus left. Moral versus immoral. God versus evil. I don't think that has anything really to do with impeachment, conviction, and removal, man. Sorry. Just doesn't. All right. Let's see. What else we got? I can talk off the cuff here about just anything, you know. We're having fun on here. Prove me wrong. Disagree with me. We can go back and forth on this all day. Well, I got things to do. But, you know, as you can tell, I'm quite a busy person. Yeah. So, anyway. All right. Yep. Just a lot of fun stuff. A lot of stuff this guy's done. But we need to definitely take care of it. I think it's wrong. But go ahead and give this video a like. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Go ahead and sign the petition in the description section of this video. We need to get some people notified out there that this guy needs to be impeached, convicted, or removed. Or removed, I should say. Oh, by the way, who's going to watch the State of the Union address tonight? I'm kind of excited for that because I want to see how much stupid stuff he says. All the fake stuff that we're going to hear about how the economy is so great, how affordability is a hoax, how Epstein's a hoax, how, you know, he ended, 20 different wars, supposedly his tariffs are bringing great revenue, which, by the way, was made unconstitutional by the Supreme Court, but then they turned around and said that they don't know if they're going to give the money back, or if they give the money back, it's going to take 5 years for them to go ahead and get it back to everybody. Do you think that's fair? Huh? Does anybody think that's fair? I sure don't. Especially when they tax you twice. They tax you yearly, and then they tax you on tariffs. For those of you who don't know, a tariff is a tax on imports. Read your history. If it is not something that you wanted, your congressional rep should have had something to do with it. You need to get in touch with them. So, man, let me tell you. But yeah, that State of the Union address is going to be great to hear, man. He's just going to be going on and on and on about how great he is. He says it's going to be the longest one ever. I'll tell you what, the last 2 times that I've watched him do it, it was the longest ever. Really. Didn't need to be either. You're so ignorant. Who are you talking to? You talking to me, or are you talking to the people in there? No, I'm not ignorant, man. I'm just giving you facts you don't like. So, it's okay. Are you MAGA? MAGA Mike? We're going to go there? But if you're claiming that I'm ignorant, I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. He was indicted 4 times, both at the state and federal level. For the January insurrection alone, January 6th insurrection alone, he was given 4 felony counts. 1, conspiracy to defraud the United States. 2, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. 3, conspiracy against rights. 4, obstruction and attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. If you don't believe that, go read the Jack Smith report. I suggest you open your eyes, my friend. New York. In New York, he was given 34 felony counts and convicted of falsified business records. that included a porn star that he had sex with and lied about. Good old Stormy Daniels, right? You guys haven't watched her? I suggest you go ahead and take a look at that video in which she explains what happened. Georgia, he violated the Racketeer Influencing and Corruption Organization Act. So, yeah, I'm really ignorant. Yeah, dude, tell me something that is definitely false about this stuff that I'm talking about. Because it's not false. You can look it up. A lot of it's common information. Okay? He created the World Liberty Financial to accept crypto in excess of $5 billion. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that the president should receive $5 billion a year from outside influence aside from his presidential salary? I don't care that he's a businessman. And if he is a businessman, he's supposed to give his businesses to a blind trust. It even states it in the U.S. Constitution. I suggest you read the Constitution on that. Okay? He eliminated birthright citizenship via executive order. For those of you who don't know, that is the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, in which it states that all persons born here are citizens. Persons. Persons. Not citizens, not people, persons. It means anybody. Okay? He pardoned 1,500 insurrectionists of January 6, 2021. Come on. Really? We're going to go around and pardon criminals that commit these types of crimes? Like, I know that presidents have pardoned unpopular people, for crying out loud. We pardoned Nixon. We were going to impeach and convict the guy. And he was pardoned by the President of the United States after he stepped down. So yes, we have pardoned terrible people. But come on. People who actually attacked our capital. It's wrong. It's an affront to everyone who has served this country. It's disgusting. Why we have accepted and allowed that behavior to happen, I don't see how you can be a good citizen and accept that. He shut down asylum requests at the border. He terminated telework agreements contrary to the work union approval agreements. He unilaterally withdrew from the World Health Organization. He sent the military to seal the borders without congressional approval. He reinstated Schedule F and fired federal employees without proper approval from said agencies. He pulled security clearances from perceived political enemies. Can't deny that. There's plenty of people that don't like him in government. Come on. Mike Pence, his own vice president. His own former vice president said a lot of things about him. I think you ought to look it up if you don't know. To include 3 United States generals who served within his previous administration spoke about how he was fascist. Come on. If we've got generals with over 90 years of military experience combined telling us that we have a fascist in our government, you kind of have to listen. And that was before he was elected the second time. Open your eyes. He froze hiring in government without congressional authorization. He appointed an interim U.S. attorney for D.C. as a conflict of interest, as he fired many employees who worked on the January 6th case. He unilaterally paused the congressional law banning TikTok. He rolled back multiple energy regulations without congressional approval. He violated the impoundment clause of Congress. He suspended entrance of refugees into the United States. He approved construction of the border wall without congressional approval. He reestablished the federal death penalty without Congress. He shut down wind energy projects without congressional approval. He froze hundreds of billions of humanitarian aid that was congressional immigration detention centers without Congress. He paused immigration funding. He appointed Elon Musk to run Doge without congressional oversight. He implemented travel bans without specification. He issued executive orders to define sex and gender. He ended vaguely defined DEI programs and contracts without congressional approval. What else? He is mentioned in the Epstein files over 5,000 times. Come on, guys. We got a pedophile in our midst. He's in the government. We have allowed him to be there. Kind of funny that people that want to say they want to protect women are all of a sudden now for a guy who violated women's rights at a very young age. Really? Is that what we're about? Attempted to block the Epstein file release multiple times. You can deny it all you want. Congress had to sign a discharge petition. He had the ability. Don't get me wrong. I think Biden should have done everything to get those things released when he was in charge. However, Epstein was arrested and sentenced in 2019. With that being said, who was president during 2019? That's right, Trump. He could have done something about it then. Did he? No, he did not. So don't tell me it was all Biden's fault. Sorry. Just not going to believe it. He ordered Venezuelan ships be seized and or destroyed without congressional approval. He ordered the U.S. military to Los Angeles in violation of Posse Comitatus. He accepted a $400 million Qatari jet expected to have a $1 billion worth of upgrades in violation of the Emoluments Clause. And he implemented tariffs without congressional approval. Do you like taxes? Do any of you like taxes? No, I don't think you do. Because guess what? You're being taxed twice. Right now, you are being taxed annually, and you are being taxed every time you go and buy something that is supposedly made in another country. With that being said, let's go ahead. Oh, Israel gifted Trump with a silver crown engraved Prince of Peace, which is how the Bible described the Messiah when he would come, and Jesus came 700 years later. They call Trump Messiah. There's no, I don't think he is the Messiah. I think, if anything, he's the Antichrist, if you really want to go there. But I'm not really big into that. You know, for people that seem to think that he believes in God and supports God and this big righteous person that's coming in and spreading the Bible to everybody, I think that is a false paradigm. I really think so. Okay? All right. Why they would allow him to be impeached. Okay. Got it. It's a cult. I 100% agree with you. MAGA is a cult. If you are still a MAGA, diehard MAGA, and you still support Trump, I'm here to wake you up. You are in a cult, my friend. You are following someone who is blindly leading you to a political demise. And I don't know what else is going on in your life, but I have a tendency to question your morals. Gonna say it. You might want to take a good hard look in the mirror. All right? He gave those back military place who were fired not taking COVID shot. Okay, I got a question for you, man. Let me tell you this. Even though they implemented that under Biden, okay, let's go ahead and talk about how many vaccinations the United States military gets per year and is required. They didn't do anything different. They just made another vaccination required. No one else complains about any other vaccination that they get, but they complained about COVID. They got fired for disobeying an order. Hey, that's UCMJ for you. It's in the UCMJ. If you know anything about it, you'll know that that was worth it. And they should have kept those people out. All right? I don't think it was worth it to bring those people back in. Okay? They should have either not let them come back in and kept that thing going, or they should have just said, hey, you know what? Here going forward, this is what we're going to do. Okay? Oh, man. Let's go. It's proven that costs on everything are going down, not up. I don't know what world you're living in, bro. I'm telling you right now, my grocery bill is up. Me personally. My personal grocery bill is up. Gas here fluctuates up and down all the time. So I'm going to tell you, it's not necessarily down. and you're trading one cent loss for another cent gain. What real gain or loss is that? Come on. All right. Exactly. Okay. That's what I meant. God versus evil. Okay. But once again, you can believe that. Fine. I don't think it has anything to do with that. Okay. Costs are going up. Everyone can see. I 100% agree with that. The devil isn't dumb. He's working hard, and people are oblivious. Okay? You're ignorant. Cost is only going up in the Democrat cities and states because the liberals keep raising taxes. Gas has gone down. Interest rates have gone down over 6% on housing loans. I have a question for you, Shanti. Please tell me what state you're in. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm in Texas. Costs are going up, man. Okay? And I'm in a red district. Costs are up. Food costs are going down. You're either blind or very ignorant. Okay? Well, I'd say the opposite is true. You might want to look at yourself, Shanti. Nice costume. Put the phone down and really help your community. This ain't it. Well, I am helping my community. It's called look in the description section and sign my petition. That's helping my community. I'm telling you we need to impeach and convict and remove this guy. Go ahead and sign that petition and you'll be doing your part. By the way, have you voted yet? It is the primaries in Texas, by the way. So if you're in Texas, get out and vote. I've already done it, so I've done my civic duty. And yes, I'm having a conversation with you. So yes, I am helping my community. Hopefully I'm able to change your mind if you're a MAGA moron. Let's put it that way. What else we got? Anybody? Let's see. Anybody else want to take a nice little swag at me here? Of all the stuff that I've said? Want to change my mind? Don't think so. My mind's pretty made up. By the way, I voted for Harris. Let's put it that way. I voted for Kamala Harris in the last election. She was a good pick. If you voted for Trump, I think you're an idiot. Especially if you voted for him a third time, man. Come on. You already knew what he was. And if you don't think so, you really must have been asleep for the last 10 years. Let's put it that way. But thank you for the costume comment. I like that. Actually, it's not a costume. This is stuff that I normally wear. So I do work with heavy equipment and I do a lot of dirty things. It has to deal with cleaning stuff and all that. So, you know, thank you. Hat's a nice touch though. I don't wear the hat every day. I'll be honest. It does kind of get in the way. And it kind of does blow away with the wind. So I want to make sure that I don't lose the hat because it's a good looking hat. All right. If you're a dude and support everything Donald and Jeffrey did to those young girls, you have no honor. I 100% agree with you, man. If you can still be behind a person that was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein and support everything that man did, and also further help block the release of the Epstein files and ensure that not victims' names being redacted, but criminals being redacted, I think you got issues. I have to agree with you. Thank you. Okay, what else? Doc Pete Chambers for Texas governor. Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about, man. Not that I don't know if Pete Chambers is running. I've already voted, but I didn't vote for him. So is he a conservative, Republican, Democrat? I don't know. For me, let's go ahead and tell you who I would like to see for Texas. All right. Governor, I want to see Gina Hinojosa. Okay? Hinojosa, whatever you want to call it. Okay? I want to see Gina elected to be governor. I want her to replace Abbott. I don't want Abbott to win it all. And in fact, I'd like a Democrat to take over. They need to. It's about time. Furthermore, let's tell you who I voted for when it comes to senator for the state of Texas. Jasmine Crockett. You want to know why? She fights. She's honest, she fights, and she was a public defender, which means she didn't do it for the money. Lawyers that don't do it for the money, I think, are a little bit more worth it than those that do. Okay. Oh, Texas tornado constitutionalist. Where are you, man? Uh, let's see. Did you comment at all at any point in time? Okay. All right, so you're a constitutionalist, Texas tornado? Okay, gotcha. Well, if you're a constitutionalist, then you certainly don't support Trump. If you say you support Trump and you're a constitutionalist, you're lying. Okay, because a constitutionalist wouldn't support Trump, given how many times the guy violates the Constitution. Okay. Oh my gosh. Constitutionalist. Okay, Doc is a constitutionalist. Okay, whatever. Constitutionalist, but we have two parties. Democrat, Republican. Got it. Idiot live. Okay, sure. Explain to me how I'm an idiot. Challenge you there. Tell me how I'm an idiot right now. I'll wait. Or not, meaning you can just not say anything, which is probably what you're going to do because you don't want to say anything because I'm going to just put it right back in your face. Okay, not a chance. Americans, MAGA will unite and it won't be pretty. Okay, then explain to me why is his approval rating so low? Is that unification under the MAGA party that's making this country so great? Let me ask you this. Are we great yet? I'll let you answer that. Because I explained to you why he's still in office and why the files are released and you're still clueless. Okay. Whatever. Claims without weight. 34 felony counts. Convicted. Without weight? No. Let's talk about the conspiracy to defraud the United States of an official proceeding under the Jack Smith report, which, if you haven't read it, boy, that's a lot of weight right there. And they said they would sustain a conviction at trial, had it gone to trial. That dude would have been convicted and in prison. Come on. So you're saying without weight? Okay. Oh, boy. Let's see. Idiot live. Not a chance. Okay, whatever. LOL Genie. Okay. You didn't read my answer. What answer was that? What answer was that? I'm only seeing you twice. Let's see. Divine77. I'm seeing you answering it. I only see your answer on here 3 times and it's not an actual answer. You're just calling me a loser. You're saying loser, live, ha ha ha. You didn't read my answer. What answer? You didn't give an answer. All you said was idiot live. There you go. Released? LOL. Okay. Well, you can definitely argue with me on that. He hasn't released all of them, right? They've only released some of them, which was actually breaking the law right there. Divine. Then tell us why he isn't impeached yet. Why isn't he impeached yet? What does it take to get a president impeached? It takes Congress, right? Congress is made up of 2 parties. It takes a simple majority in the House of Representatives to impeach, and in the other house, it's going to take more people to convict him as well. Okay? So, because they got the filibuster in place. So they have to get Republicans on the Democrat side because the Democrats are in the majority, or in the minority, excuse me. They're going to have a hard time actually impeaching him. All right? So that's why he's not impeached. Democrats want him impeached, but they're in the minority. They need to get Republicans over to their side, but the Republicans are too scared to actually go against him. Okay? That's why he is not impeached yet. That is why he is not convicted yet. And they're spineless for not doing it. I'm telling you, it is spinelessness. Okay? That's exactly why he's not impeached. My neighbor's pet parrot has a better vocabulary than Donald Trump. Okay, exactly. Those were all frivolous charges with a bent jury. Did you actually listen to the trial? Did you actually listen to it? I wanna know if you actually listened to Judge Juan Merchan bring it out. Do you even know that that was the judge's name, by the way? Okay, so let's go ahead and just drop the fact that it was a bent jury, because to be honest with you, you know, I'll tell you what was frivolous was the actual conviction. He got an unconditional discharge. In what world does someone like Donald Trump with 34 felony counts get an unconditional discharge? Look up how many times they've given an unconditional discharge for that specific crime, and you'll find that he is the only one that has received it. Okay? Ugh. Oh my gosh, clean your own backyard. Okay? Well, I'm cleaning up the country. Don't know what I can say for you. Okay, yes. Did you see the jury forewoman? No, I didn't. Doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. The jury came up with what? They came up with an unconditional discharge, regardless of whether you think it was bent or not. Okay? What's sad is that they even came up with that charge. Okay? The fact that they even didn't execute anything more than that. All right? And the whole reason was because it was potentially he would become the president of the United States. She flat out before the trial spoke many times how he was guilty. He should be in prison. 100% agree. Brokeback? No, dude. I'm married to a woman, okay? So, there you go. I'm not gay, for those of you who might think so. All right, the same changes 37 times get real. Okay. You mean 34 times? Are we talking about the felony counts that he was convicted of? All right. Well, we're getting some comments and we're getting some likes, and, you know, we're having a good time here. Thank you for watching. So, but go ahead and let's talk about the indicted 4 times by both federal and state levels. Come on. The biggest one is the fact that he's been enriching himself, man. Like, really? We're allowing that? Why are we allowing this? We shouldn't be allowing this. Okay? No one said that they're going to watch the State of the Union address, by the way. I'm curious. All those who have said that they were for him, I kind of want to know if you're watching the State of the Union and see if you're going to go ahead and gobble down that sweet lie of his. Because that's all it's going to be. It's just going to be a bunch of lies. All right? The man's a liar, pathological liar. He lies all the time. He calls his opponents whatever he wants to call them to demean them. Okay. Texas Tornado says, yes, I will watch. Okay, cool. I'm going to watch it too, and I'm just going to count how many times that guy tells you a lie. How about that? Yeah. Why are we, the people, allowing a criminal like Trump to be in office? We should be beating down the doors of our representatives and telling them to impeach him. Democrat or Republican, right now. That's exactly what we should be doing. State of the Union gag. Yeah, well, it's entertaining. Also watched Biden's. Okay. Yep, I've watched all parties too, man. I'll watch it, but we'll need a bucket to puke in. Yeah, I have to agree with you. It's going to make me throw up in my mouth big time. So, anyway. All right. By the way, I haven't gotten any answers back from some people who decided to roast me on here. I thought it was hilarious. You know, he'll just say the same weaving BS he always says. I agree with you. Why have we allowed all politicians not be held accountable? Define that, because when you say why have we not allowed all politicians to be held accountable, we've had some. We really have in our history, if you look back. It's not that we haven't had all of them. Why have we allowed it? This guy in particular to get away with it all? Is it because he's a bully? Is it because he has political enemies and he goes after them with his cult members and people are afraid of that said cult? I mean, is that the reason? Really? You're talking about a small percentage of the population that really doesn't agree with him? I love for speaking the truth, but do something. Okay, well, you can sign my petition. That's doing something. It's in the description section. Go to the petition to impeach, convict, and remove this guy. That's doing something. That's saying you will not allow it. Go ahead and go out there and vote Democrat if it's in the primary election season, which it is here where we're at. Don't vote for a Republican, vote for a Democrat. That's what you can do. Get out there and do something. I've done it. You should too. Frivolous spending foreign aid that is in Congress. Please enumerate his lies. Okay. This is great. I want to speak directly to Jim Stewart. We are in the best economy ever. Let's go. Are we really in the best economy? I'm telling you the prices are going up, and I'm telling you the prices are going up now. In this state where I'm at, they're going up. So he says we're in the best economy ever. That's not a sign of the best economy. Okay? He says that he's ended 8 or 9 different wars. I've lost count of how many wars he's supposedly ended. Come on. What wars has he attempted to end? Wars that you've never heard of, right? He doesn't even say them. He attempted to end Ukraine and the one in Israel, and he still hasn't ended it. So it's a lie. Okay? All right. Let's see. Alex Preddy was a domestic terrorist. That's another one. Go watch the video. He is not a domestic terrorist. We have a hard time defining what domestic terrorism is, yet we label people as that willy-nilly. Come on. He also said that it was a DEI issue when the people crashed at the beginning of his presidency when we had that airplane crash at Baltimore International Airport, BWI. He said it was a DEI issue. If you actually read the transportation report, which I suggest you do, it wasn't that. It was pilot error. It had nothing to do with DEI. Okay, that's just 3 of them, man. You can put a lot more on there. I've already enumerated lies. Let's go. All right, frivolous spending in foreign aid. That is Congress. Okay, well, if you disagree with it, why don't you go ahead and talk to your representative? That's how you solve that, okay? Vote for trans rights and abortions. Yep, I 100% agree. You have more rights than are listed in the Constitution. It says it in the 9th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, by the way. I am a Republican. I cringe when Trump says best economy. Same when he promoted CVAX. The corona vaccination? Okay. Well, hey, at least you're willing to admit it, man. I can applaud you for that. All right, what else we got? What other roasts or disagreements we can come up with? I still haven't heard from some of the people that are like dissenting opinions. I've asked them to explain themselves. They haven't said a single thing. But I'll sit here and tell you, you'll say, I didn't read your comment. Or you didn't, I did not read their comment. Well, I've read where it is, and, I've told you specifically what you said, but it didn't have any substance to it. Okay? But, okay, that's fine. Anyway. Good stuff. All right. What else we got, guys? Pretty interesting conversation. I'll take one more question at least. Come on, what we got? Okay. He's building concentration camps across America. Exactly. I agree with you. Call it what it is. They're concentration camps. If people are dying in these camps, what are they dying of? Malnutrition, abuse, and if we're not being told why they're dying, come on. We need to really open our eyes on this. I got a COVID vaccine in 2021. Me too. So what? I'm still here. Nothing's happened to me. I'm still very alive and smarter and more successful than before. Good for you. Glad you're doing well. Nice to hear. I got a COVID vaccine at some point. You know, it was fun. Had a great time. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to Save America. I'll be seeing you soon.